Hello, fungi enthusiasts and curious minds, and welcome back to the Fungi Talks podcast, your ultimate destination for all things mushrooms. Today, I have Susanne Gløersen with me, and although Susanne is not your typical mycologist, her passion for fungi is definitely undeniable. She is championing the cause through the Future is Fungi Award, an initiative that is aimed at supporting startups and innovations rooted in the magic of mushrooms. With her deep understanding of how fungi can revolutionize industries and her commitment in fostering mushroom-based innovations, Susanne's insights are going to captivate and inspire you. And if you don't want to miss out on any mushroom-based news or interviews with interesting people from the field, then don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And now, without further ado, let's dive into the conversation with Susanne. Hi, Susanne, and thank you very much for taking the time. And as you might know from my previous interviews, I always start my interview with asking, what's your favorite mushroom? And I know people who work with mushrooms, that's not the easiest question. So I'll change it to, what's your current favorite mushroom?
There's so many fantastic mushrooms, colors, shapes. But even though I love to watch mushrooms, and I do it if I need to get in a good mood, I can just watch pictures of mushrooms. But I don't necessarily know the name of all of them. I
Right.
have to say, no, but I have, I have a library actually of pictures. So I'll go with the plain one that I actually have close to my heart and home, which I also got to visit the other week in a container where they grow them. And
Okay.
just, having it in my hand, touching it, it was just this eureka moment. And I use it to stay focused, and that's limeade. So
Yes,
it's a
perfect.
plain friend, many knows it,
Yes,
but since I encountered it in person 2 weeks ago, I'll say limeade.
that's
But
amazing.
today it's lion's mane.
Yes, yes, that's good. It's also my favorite mushroom, so it's good. I
Yeah.
like it as well.
Why is it your favorite mushroom?
Because of the health benefits. It actually took me
Mm.
quite some time to find the right supplier, because I didn't want to buy it from Asia, and I just like the health benefit it has. And looking through the research paper, what we found out about it, it's just mind blowing to me. It's
Yeah.
like, I think everyone should take lion's mane on a daily basis.
Mm.
So yeah, and it looks nice, right?
Mm.
It's very
But last
beautiful.
question is, there are differences in quality if we
Well,
compare, would you
I
say?
mean, as mushrooms grow, it's always differences in
Yeah.
the way they've been cultivated. So there's different strains, and then it also, depending on what they grow on, so the substrate, they can create different compounds, and that is, yeah. So there is a difference in quality, definitely. Yeah, and yeah, but that's it. Um, I mean, we got together. I saw you on LinkedIn, and I thought, I'm gonna have to talk to her. And the reason being was the Fungi Award, the Future is Fungi Award. But before we talk to that, I would like to maybe understand from your side how your career developed, because I looked through your LinkedIn profile and it's basically almost the same as me. We both didn't start with biology or mushrooms. You come from a totally different background. I mean, somehow you are always had something to do with sustainability, but maybe you can give me a little bit of an idea, like how you started, and especially, I mean, what brought you to mushrooms?
Mm. Yeah, I uh, I've been in sustainability my whole life,
Hmm.
working with sustainability in finance.
Yeah.
Not because I'm a finance person, but using capital as a tool for change. And throughout, I've been very passionate about, or the new solutions, the new innovations, what can really take us on a more sustainable trajectory for the planet. And I am, I also, my brain feeds from new ideas. and I'm also very opportunity oriented, solution oriented, right? No doom and gloom, more into what are the solutions we can use. So, so working in sustainability for 12 years, started in 2010. And then 4 years ago, my Danish friend, she is vegan, wanted to do a startup on alternative protein with mushrooms. That was when I first encountered mushrooms in that way, and it just fascinated me. And that kind of opened the door. And
Mm,
then it's actually not longer than 1.5 years ago where I met a biologist, and a lot of things just accelerated. But we found this common interest for fungi, and I think it's just accelerated from my part. And the reason being, there's so many layers to fungi, but there's which is fascinating. I'm quite multi-layered myself, being quite creative in the finance industry, but since there's so many applications
right.
for environmental innovations from fungi, right? And when sustainability is my calling, that's why I've been working with my whole life. I paved the way when very few in Norway was working with sustainability. When you
Hmm.
then have this magical creature uh, that can be used for so many sectors and applications.
Right.
Uh, but not at least, again, I'm something called neophile. I would say I'm neophile, which is you feed from new solutions. You have to explore new things, not to be misinterpreted with something else.
What is it
Uh,
again? I didn't get it.
it's actually called neophile when
Neophile. Okay.
you really you need to explore new things.
Right.
You like to go to new places. You never go to the same place. Anyway,
Sounds familiar.
so,
Probably the
so
same. Yeah.
yeah. Now, so to say, what is so fascinating with the space of fungi is that yes, there are a lot of ways they can use fungi, but there's so much more to discover.
Right.
There, since fungi has been under researched, under communicated, there will be mind-blowing innovations we will be able to tap into and harness in the
Nice.
next decade to come. For me, that is so fascinating, and that we're in this beginning of this boom. And also, just to add, I when when you start to learn about fungi, right? Fungi is an ecosystem builder and collaborator. I resonate personally with that.
Hmm.
Uh, um, and also fungi being more undercommunicated, misunderstood. I've always been kind of fighting for the underdog, so that also,
Yeah,
and
it's
all
beautiful.
of us, right, all of us can feel a bit like fungi sometimes. So
Yeah.
personally also, so yeah, Andreas, I jumped out of the bank. No, I didn't jump out of the bank. That's but I quit that to be in service in the ecosystem of fungi in several ways. Um,
You're a
yeah,
fungi
so
ambassador, pretty much.
I'm definitely a fungi. We many of us are.
Yeah. No, I love
Recently.
it. And also, maybe a big thank you to your friend who turned you on mushrooms. It's always somebody who turns you on, so that's good. But I mean, let's go back maybe also to talk about a little bit about the you said it's under communicated, misunderstood. I live in Germany. Our culture definitely is mycophobic, right? So they have an issue with mushrooms. How is it in Norway? Thank you.
In Norway, I've always said the world is my oyster, so I always have a global perspective. And I've actually moved from Norway to Sweden now. So, but so when it comes to more traditional mycology, I mean, I not necessarily want to say, but you do see this wave of interest in fungi in
Hmm.
Norway as in other countries,
Okay,
definitely.
so
And
it's popping up,
we have strong research institutions on mycology, obviously
right?
in Norway. Obviously, I have some of them in my award
Yeah.
in the jury for
Well,
the
yeah,
for the award.
you're close to it, so I guess it's a little bit you're way more in this in the scene, so to say.
Mm,
But yeah, I experience myself as well all the time that people, if you talk about mushrooms, like if I talk to someone like you, I mean, you telling me that mushrooms are amazing and they can solve so many maybe problems we have, it's
yeah,
like common sense. But if you talk to other people, they're like, thinking about different kind of mushrooms and don't even have an idea what mushrooms are capable of. So yeah.
Yeah, but I would say, I mean, independent of who you talk to, even though, they do think about mushrooms on a pizza or something else, they are intrigued. There's something about fungi. They're like, interesting. I mean,
Yeah,
they're
that's true.
It's not like, I'm not interesting to hear about. They
Yeah.
are interested. So you can, and from there, you bring them in, right?
Yeah, you're right. It is
Mm.
almost a little bit mysterious, but people are interested in it, definitely.
And it's right. It's not the same if we say, bacteria. Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah,
Of course, but there's something different
interesting. I
with our
never thought
friends
about that way.
fungi. There
Yeah,
is something different. Mm,
it's probably because they're our ancestors. That's probably why.
yeah.
It's in our DNA. Perfect. Okay. And I mean, you started the Future is Fungi Award, which caught my eye, and I thought, finally, something is happening in Europe. So, can you maybe give me a little bit more of an insight? What exactly is the Future is Fungi Award? What you guys are looking to do with it? And I mean, what's your involvement in it as well?
Absolutely. And it was the biologist in me that, kickstarted it.
Okay,
So
perfect.
even though I'm writing a lot of it now, that was he's in it.
Okay.
Um, yeah, and again, when I set out from the bank, I am working on a Fungi Universe, so we can come back to that, right? Where the word is a part of the bigger whole, more
Okay.
systemic approach to fungi. When it comes to the word, um, we coming back also to fungi being under researched,
Hmm.
under focused, right? In the Netherlands, 10 more times more research on plants than fungi. So it has been this little recognition. At the same time, we know that it can do so much for environmental innovations. So with the Futures Fungi Award, we wanted to, and again, uncover what are the really cutting edge new ways we can use fungi for environmental innovations, right? Yes, we know we can make leather, we can make burgers, but hey, come on, what's the new things? Is it bio batteries? Is it used as a biosensor in the ground? So with the work, we want to, uncover the new research and innovations, but we also want to honor the research that
Right.
is out there, right? We want to give credit to the researchers and give them the recognition, give fungi the stage and front and center
Do you?
attention, and the researchers.
Yeah.
And there's more. Do you want to hear the rest?
Yes, definitely. I just, what comes to my mind is right now, it's like, I mean, why is it that it's so under researched? Because in the mycology field, people already know about this, right? Every mushroom book you buy, it's like this this huge world of what mushrooms are capable of. It's almost like every mushroom book, right? But
Mm,
somehow, I mean, how come it's under research? It doesn't really, I don't understand it.
my, but bacteria was easier to start with and got more of the resources, was more, applicable, I guess, to use for pharma. This is not my field of expertise to say
Mm,
exactly why it is, right?
okay. But do you have an
But
opinion?
but
Do you have an
yeah,
idea?
but now we are it's starting with bacteria, but now we're moving on to more complex
Systems, okay.
creatures like fungi, but apparently why it's easier also now to research fungi more or understand how we can use it. Also, the developing technology, like the
Hmm.
DNA sequencing, so understand fungi better, understand how we can use it better, which makes it
Okay.
easier to tap into its potential.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. So basically, the technology was not there to maybe
Uh,
understand the complexity of it.
uh, no, I would say not, and it's just,
Interesting.
and it's really, it's right, so bacteria or other microorganisms have been uh, prioritized. And it's so fascinating to hear how universities or research institutions have. It's been like, oh yeah, we're not focusing too much on fungi
Yeah,
anymore.
definitely. Yeah.
Internal allocation of capital and just also the sheer recognition of, yeah, it's been the underdog, right?
Yeah, I totally get it. I mean,
Yeah.
if I talk to
Mm,
mycologists in some fields, I mean, also they don't seem like they have an opportunity in a capitalist world to do something with their studies.
No,
So,
exactly.
right? So
Mm,
there's like the demand and also the supply.
mm,
There's something missing. We all
mm,
know it's good for us, but
yeah.
somehow nobody does anything about it. So that's why I think the Future as Fungi Award is amazing, because
Mm,
we finally have the opportunity to look at people who do the research and honor them, and also maybe draw attention to it, money, and yeah,
yeah.
hopefully something will get out of it.
Yeah, and again, there's been this boom, or in this beginning of the boom for startups, but you haven't seen necessarily the same on the research side, right? We've heard about
Mm.
research departments, being merged because so you don't have dedicated mycology departments are no longer anyway. So we wanted to tap into that. So on a research, but we also want to inspire to more research, right? We want more research, and there's been a challenge of you know all professors going into retirement. We need young people to want to come into
Oh,
mycology and
okay.
want to do the research, right? And it's also be cool if you see how we can use fungi for real world solutions out there. Maybe that can inspire, let's say, new types of people to want to enter the space of
I love
mycology,
it.
because they
Yeah.
also see you don't have to be in academia for 50 years. You can learn mycology and then you can go out save the world with fungi. Two last things. We want to nudge the commercialization of research.
Hmm.
There is so much research getting stuck at universities. It's not getting out in the real world.
Right.
And hey, then we don't. How can we save the planet then? So, not if we can help with our ecosystem, and that's why we built the jury intentionally with investors, corporates, uh, as a supporting ecosystem. And then we want to help spread the word globally about the potential of fungi, like many others are doing, right? But we can also be in a voice. So, from the platform, from the word, we can create interest in and understanding of and curiosity about re communicating who fungi is and what we can do with it.
I love it. So basically, everyone who listens at least to this interview needs to look it up and check it out, follow it wherever you can, just so there is also this attention we need towards, I mean, research in mushrooms. I love it.
Hmm.
I was amazed by it. I was like, finally, and it's good that it's happening. Also, like I said, in Europe, because I think we also need to have a knowledge base around this very important creature in our economy, so we can actually work on it and create solutions which are also based in
Hmm.
Europe, right?
But this is just as you know, this award, Fungus Global, Fungus
I
everywhere,
understand that.
right?
I
So the
understand that.
award is global. It's quite a big project we embarked on because it's pro bono, but so that's also something to keep in mind. That there might be some fantastic researchers in Africa sitting with fantastic research on how we can use fungi for who knows what. They
Right.
should also give the same chance to get their research up in daylight and recognized. So, global award. Yeah,
All right. That's good. That's good enough. I'm happy that it's still starting here. So you can
absolutely.
move around, but it's I'm happy that there's people here in Europe actually taking the initiative. That's beautiful. And I mean, considering this is the first year, right? You started it. The applications are open. What exactly are you looking for? Who can apply?
Researchers and startups. We have two awards. I mean,
Okay.
two prizes. Where each winner gets €10,000, they get mentorship, they get access to a fantastic network, and we want to give them some fungal fame, some visibility where we can. They should come to your podcast, definitely, and
Definitely.
talk,
They're
right?
all very welcome to talk about their
Yeah,
innovations.
fantastic.
Yes.
And we're looking for it has to be uh, frontier and new. So new. I mean, let's say frontier research on how we can use fungi in new ways, and how we will what's it, scout them, or what the jury will be looking for is first of all, from research, it can be the four stages: idea, test and proven research or technology or demonstration,
Right.
can be published research or prototype. For startup world, it can be, for those who know the stages, pre-seed, seed, late seed, and Series A, which are stages where the companies are in terms of maturity. We will be looking for the environmental problem you're solving. So, is it an environmental problem you're solving? Is it climate change, biodiversity? Are you supporting more circular economy?
Yeah.
Obviously, and the award is only environmental focused, not health focused, only environmental focused.
Okay.
This first year, at least. What is the impact? What is in the grand scheme of things? How much impact could this research or innovation have? Obviously, we want to understand more of the research or innovation, so we'll have them to describe it. And then we need to understand the novelty. How is this truly novel and new?
Nice. Okay.
How can, I'm looking a bit of my notes here, how can these solutions be implemented in the real world? And for researchers, what type of partners would you need to take this out? For startups, we look at, how well do they understand their customer segments? Are they willing to
Right.
pay? How viable is this? And then
Do they need
for
a proof of
researchers again,
concept though? For startups, for example, do they need a proof of concept? Or is the idea stage good
startups
enough?
often, uh, it can be, yeah, if they've just, started their company, it's good enough.
Okay.
I would say that's good enough. We're open we want to be quite open
Okay.
for everybody. And lastly, again, there's quite a lot of awards for research that just give a recognition and then everybody goes home.
Hmm.
We're here to tackle the world challenges.
Right.
Our overall mission is to achieve the regenerative society with prospering nature, prospering people. So
Nice.
we would like to see this, right? We want to be an engine for accelerate the fungi revolution.
Hmm.
So for research, we will also be looking for what is the potential for commercialization. Is the researcher interested in taking this out? It's not a prerequisite, but it's part of the criteria, right?
Right.
And for starters, we will look for scaling.
Hmm.
How fast can they scale, or what's the potential for scaling of the solutions?
Well,
Mm.
let's make a
And
little bit. Yeah.
one
Go ahead.
thing, and not at least, because we want to help them foster more this acceleration of the ecosystem. So, what resources will they need?
Okay.
Right?
Perfect.
That's what I
Because
want.
it's almost sound like you are like an accelerator program as well. Somehow.
Hopefully, we can. Hopefully, we can get there. That we
Okay.
can. Those that want to, those that want to be helped, those that are interested in getting out, that we can over time help them. That would be
Yeah.
fantastic.
Sounds
Mm,
good.
mm.
Um, I'd love to support as much as I can. And who is the jury? Like, who decides all that? Because that seems like a lot of work too. Like, what kind of people do you have on board?
Yeah, I've been very fortunate to meet all these fantastic people who are just finds that this is so needed. So they just say, we're in. So with the word, I wanted to build it deliberately to represent the ecosystem that can help to get this out.
Right.
So we are a bit, again, I feel like a fungi often, the mycelium that put people together. So in the jury we have research institutions. We have 23 research institutions in the world and from the US, actually Latin America and Africa as well. So some of
Nice.
the best ones. We have investors, and investors or research often need to come together and talk the same language more. And research definitely need a lot of capital. So for me, that's the mission. We have corporates, and we have the wider innovation ecosystem, and then we also have an artist. He's fantastic.
Nice.
Odin Nayar is a biologist, because we also want to bring in, wrap this in something else than, how
Yeah.
maybe traditional research awards look. So the jury, we have 50 people in the jury. But
That's a
you know
lot.
what?
Okay.
Yeah, that's a lot. But again, for me, it's also the start of a network to
Yes.
collaborate more across the ecosystem. So start this beautiful network, and a lot of people that can help the researchers and startups. And you know what? We're 2 weeks in. We opened for applications 2 weeks ago. We already have 95 applications
Amazing.
from business and startups. So we 1 more month to go. We need a big jury to
Right.
have a proper assessment of all the applications coming
That's
in.
amazing.
Mm.
And like, at what time are the applications being presented? I mean, is it just the best 10? Like, how can I imagine the process going to be moving forward?
Yeah, we are now we are open until 15th of October for
Hmm.
applications. Then the jury will assess applications. Then we are identifying top three in each category,
Okay, nice.
which advisory board. We have an advisory board, and specially invited guests where we have Juliana Fursi from Fungi Foundation, and we have a professor of earth science in Stanford University. They will discuss more in depth these top three from research, top three from
Right.
startups,
Nice.
and then they will evaluate them.
But they will be
Um,
announced on your platform,
yeah,
the
so
top
they
three?
will be announced, and we
Okay.
also, right, we are still a startup ourselves, so we're like working as we go. We do want to give recognition to more startups and researchers in here, right? Where the
Right.
top 4 or 5, they can be fantastic. So we hopefully we can also give visibility to top 5 or 10.
Okay,
Mm.
perfect.
So
Yeah.
we'll come back to that.
Yeah,
Mm.
I'm very interested what you are, whoever applied it with you, because it's hard to keep up with the whole space, right? I myself, because I'm doing nutrition, it's I'm kind of like caught in that field, but there's so much more happening. So I'm very excited to see who applied and what they're actually doing.
Mm.
Very interested. Maybe at the end, to make a frame around it, you talked about the universe, the fungi universe you were creating. Can you maybe give me a better understanding? What do you mean by that exactly?
Yeah. I've always been very system oriented,
Hmm.
thinking holistic. I see things in circles and how everything is entangled to each other. That's why often, yeah, that's why I've been working much often more macro level. So I started working on something I call the Fungi Universe, where we have an investment arm. That's also my background, right? Coming
Right.
from the investment side of things. So capital to back fungi startups and also research to commercialize. So within the Fungi Universe, we have the ward, but also investments in fungi startup and research. And then we're also actually working with the scientists to see if we can help them commercialize. And then there are more elements. I am also sharing news and updates about the fungi space on LinkedIn in Fungi Future. So if
Right.
anybody wants to follow news or want to share something there, they're happy to do that. So that is more our communication, which is definitely needed in this space,
Yes,
right?
definitely. Yeah.
And from the award, let's see where we go. But if we could, from the word, build more an organization for fungi collaboration,
Right.
for innovation commercialization, then that would be fantastic. And this is interlinked, right? All of these elements you can cross pollinate and really make. The overall goal is just to accelerate up this whole, how do you say, wheel, to
Hmm.
to enable speed of the wheel of fungi.
Right.
Uh, so, so yeah, if there are investors that are curious and interested to invest in fungi startups or research, I group investors together, and then we invest together in
Okay. And how do you
companies.
define
So then
investors? Is that institutions? Is it private people, angel
private
investors?
people, and we're
Private.
also looking at bigger structure, but uh, private investors that are
Private.
interested in this space. And
Okay.
since we know quite a lot of fungi startups and projects, we can help them. And yeah, so if there's any investors out there, we call it angel investors or um, up to larger investors, but private
Okay.
investors.
Maybe some family offices who have some money.
Yeah,
Who,
absolutely.
okay. Sounds good. Okay. And I mean, I'm gonna
And
link your.
also for the award, if you
Mhm.
know, we want to do the award with good people and collaboration partners. I've been super fortunate to have, the jury members and fantastic organizations spreading the word about fungi, about the word, right? Mycology organizations, Latin America and China, what have you. ISMEN, which is, Society for Microbial Ecology. But we would love to collaborate with others. So
Perfect.
if there's anybody listening in that, say, hey, I could contribute with this or would like to be part as a collaboration partner, feel free to reach out. Obviously, also, we are very much a pro bono initiative. So if we really is to build this foundation, we
Right.
will be also looking for financial sponsors that can build this together with us. So we will look for that. And yeah, if you want to follow what we do, we are on LinkedIn, the Futures Fungi Award. We're on
Yep.
Twitter. You can follow the homepage, thefuturesfungi.org, and sign up to your email. I'm also writing on Fungi Future on LinkedIn. There's so many
That's fine.
Fungi
I'm gonna
Future.
link everything below. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good.
And feel free to connect with me,
Yeah.
Susanne Gløersen, on
Yeah.
LinkedIn.
Perfect.
I'm very approachable. Yeah.
That's amazing. As I said, I'm gonna link everything below so
Mm,
people know where to find you. And
yeah.
yeah, is there
And I must,
anything? Mhm.
a question for you, Andreas, before
Yeah.
we close off.
All right.
That is two questions. What do you hope to see coming out? If you could imagine, the winner of the award, what would you hope to see coming out? For example,
Well,
on research. And
yeah.
the second question is, if you were to save the world with fungi, uh, what would you make?
Okay. First of all, hope to see, and then what if I would? Okay. First of all, I mean, it was interesting just to talk to you when the first time we exchanged thoughts, and you said, well, it's great that we have leather and maybe meat alternatives, but that's not innovative enough. I realized that I'm thinking not big enough. And I guess because of my limited access to maybe ideas and also um, maybe possibilities around this topic, I having a hard time to really imagine something. For me, this is a step forward, but it's interesting to talk to people like you who say, well, it's not big enough. We need to have like really solutions. And this is something,
Results.
yeah, it's like, oh, that's amazing. So there's more, which for
Yeah.
me, and I mean, I would consider myself as a fungi enthusiast, right? So if I read something about fungi, I'm like, oh, this is amazing. So what I'm hoping to see is just more mind blowing things I don't
Yeah,
even have
exactly.
thought about yet.
Mm,
And this is something what I hope to see. I cannot really pinpoint anything to it. And for me, my opinion is if we make mushrooms more accessible, as you said, and more normal in a sense, that people talked about it as we talk maybe about plants, or if we can get over this little hurdle we're having right now in our own minds that mushrooms are mysterious or weird, then I think the world will be a better place, because then the people, the younger generation coming into the fields, are maybe more interested in actually going into a specific field of mycology, because right now it's just this huge topic and nobody really knows what it is, but it has all these different segments in it, right? And there's so much we can do, but a
mm,
lot of people are not even aware of what is happening inside that field. So
mm,
if I've talked to people about mushrooms and asked them, just like my catchphrase is like, do you know how many plants are out there in the world? And then I ask them how many mushrooms, and it's always mind-blowing because it's 5 to 10 times more mushrooms. And that alone is just okay. So where do you see mushrooms, and how have you perceived them before and now moving forward, like what does it mean to see the world in a different view? And I think if we could change the world, I think we need to really make mushrooms more accessible, more normal, and with that, I think people are also being drawn to the fields probably more. Yeah,
Mm. And
that's
just two last comments on
yeah,
that. Totally agree. And again, coming back actually the circle to my fascination for fungi is also how we can, if we're to solve sustainability challenges in the world, how can we use biology to restore nature biodiversity, for example,
yeah,
right? Tapping into the intelligence of nature to restore nature. Fungi is such a good example of that. And then
definitely.
I just also want to say to my comment on, leather and alternative protein, that has been instrumental in paving the way for
Right.
interest in the space, right? People get so fascinating when you can wear shoes out of a leather from mycelium, and right, and we need more vegan food alternatives. So all honor to those entrepreneurs, and those were the early ones in this
Exactly.
space.
Yeah.
Obviously, most startups now. So my point was just more that there's other things we can also make, right? So, and that's our focus. What are
Yeah.
the other? So when we can make this, what else can we make?
Exactly. And this is the beauty of it. I totally agree. I mean, just, spend a little bit of time researching mushrooms in different fields. And I mean, just combine one field and type in mushroom and see what people have been doing with it. I mean, NASA is, researching on it to how can we use it in space. And there's so much going on. We just have
Mm.
no idea about it. And
No.
there's almost every field, there's something happening with mushrooms. And
Mm.
it's just, it goes under, as you said, there's maybe not enough resources. People are maybe afraid losing their careers because they work with mushrooms. So all these things need to be eliminated, and
Mm.
the greater public is more as we talk about it and accept it, I
Mm.
guess. Hopefully this will change. Yeah,
And if the word can, right, fungi can open our minds in so many ways.
definitely.
I think that's when you enter the fungal realm, you get my voice like, wow, this is insane. Oh, how you can do this and this.
Yes.
So with the work, if we can also, because the future is not it's about creating the future you want to see, not the one you, what's the quote again, not the one you expect to see, right? It's about imagining how it can be and then go out and creating it. So again, with the word, if we can also create enthusiasm about being curious about what more can we make, right?
Hmm.
Not only establish research, but really having people to research the startups to be super creative. Yeah,
Yeah,
if we can
definitely.
also nudge them to look at other ways we can use this, that would also be fantastic.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, I
Yeah,
mean, kudos to you. Thank you very much for your work you do and the initiative, coming from your financial background and now being a Fungi ambassador. I'm really happy that you do what you're doing. Keep on rocking, and I'm really excited what comes out of it. I'm a big fan. I'm going to support as good as I can, and
yeah,
yeah, let's see what the first startups come out of the award. And yeah, everyone has an invitation to talk about it. I'm very happy.
yeah. And get in touch.
Yes. All
Yeah.
right. Thank you very
Okay.
much.
Thank you, Andreas.
Bye bye.
Bye.